Good morning, church. How are you today? My name is Paulette Brown, and I have been in the Prince George's County school system since 1973. I always tell the students that I am older than dirt. I started out, I'm a local person in that I'm from Wilmington, Delaware, and I say that I'm local because I started out at John Hanson. It was junior high school then, and then I am now at Oxon Hill High School. I've been at Oxon Hill since 1982.
Go Clippers!
I'm not going to make a long speech, but there's a gentleman here, Mr. Silver. I met Mr. Silver by way of, I think, one of your other parishioners, Mr. McLeese. I don't know if any of you know Mr. McLeese, but if you knew him, you knew him. And getting to know Mr. McLeese is really ironic because I taught Mr. McLeese 3 boys, his big boys, Curtis, Mark, and David. And the irony comes in that Mr. McLeese also taught my niece. But Mr. McLeese was a friend of mine, and also he became a friend of Oxon Hill High School because, after all, his children went through John Hanson and Oxon Hill. But then Mr. McLeese also introduced me to another gentleman, Mr. Silver. And Mr. Silver picked up when Mr. Silver picked up after Mr. McLeese was no longer able to come over to Oxon Hill High School. And being a friend, they always brought us many, many supplies. Notebooks, pencil, paper, pens. These were supplies that were desperately needed by many of the children. And on behalf of Oxon Hill High School, I really, really want to take time, and I wanted to come here to thank Mr. Silver in person. And Mr. McLeese, I understand that he has departed this life. But Mr. McLeese, I know you're out there somewhere, and I know you've got an opinion, and I know. Okay. So on behalf of Oxon Hill High School, our principal is Mr. Jean-Paul Cadet, and he could not be here, but truly I'm delighted to be here. I am just so delighted. And I promised to bring you pictures. It started out where I was going to bring you pictures when Mr. Silver came over. I had to take pictures, and I'm hoping that those pictures will make it into our yearbook this year. So I forgot the pictures, they're in my office. But I do have something on behalf of the Board of Education. Your board member is Mr. Edward Burrows III. And Mr. Burrows, once again, he too could not be here, but once again, I am delighted to be here. So I actually have 2 gifts. Things from school. And it reads, Board of Education, Prince George's County Public Schools. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Certificate of recognition presented to Mr. Frederick Silver in appreciation of your continuous support and generous donations you have bestowed upon the students at Oxon Hill High School. Presented this 27th day of March, 2011, signed Dr. William R. Height, Jr., Superintendent of Schools, and also Edward Burrows III, Board Member, District 8. Mr. Silver, this is for you. Okay. No picture time.
Okay.
Okay, and then I also have another. And this is actually for the church. Because once again, it is through your generous donations that Mr. Silver makes his way, he finds his way to Oxon Hill High School. And it reads the same, but the only difference it is for the Oxon Hill United Methodist Church. And we do appreciate all that you have given us, and we hope that you will, with your generous donations, that it will continue. Thank you.
Brown, this is an occasion that we have to say, this is a blessing, Lord.
Yes.
And I'm amazed at what has happened here. And folks, maybe you're not quite familiar with it yet. Mr. McLean did kind of pat me on the shoulders and things like that. And I was also introduced to Mr. Dempsey, who's right here. And he has worked with me to do this. And one of the reasons that he wasn't there when the pictures were taken was he was in Florida. And I kept him aware of it. And I want you to know I shared this with him.
Oh, absolutely.
And one of the things that did me was that this, as I said, is a blessing. And it is absolutely, really great to have your thoughts and your activities so highly appreciated. And what we would like to do is say thank you for your thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this. We are part of this community. We are a church. And in the name of God, we are doing that. The living loves you, and we love to support you. Thanks God for Paul Matriz, for Bill Dempsey, for him, for Fred, and for everyone here. We are a family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.
Marine family is a big celebration.